Hey, good morning, everybody. I had a question from a good friend of mine. She was requesting that I show the top 5 exercises that I would recommend for a young athlete. And young athlete meaning like 12 years old or younger, okay? Where they haven't really been through puberty or even hit puberty yet in a lot of cases. So I'm going to show you the five exercises that I think are great. Okay, they're very foundational, very fundamental, and I'll also give you just my 2 cents about adding resistance to kiddos, before 12 years of age or before puberty. And if you have a good strength coach in your area and they're working with your kid, they'll probably load your kid, which is fine. Okay, when you think about kids on playgrounds, although that's disappearing more and more, which is really unfortunate. When you get, the other day I was skipping. We were going to the gym, the whole family was, and I was holding my son Brooke's hand, and we were skipping all the way, for about 100 yards probably, skipping all the way to the door. And I'm sitting here thinking while we're skipping, I go, hey buddy, you skip better than the high school kids that I coach. Not all of them, okay, that's just a blanket statement. But the truth is, I have a hard time teaching some high school kids how to skip, how to shuffle their feet. That's stuff we should learn when we're little because we're playing on the playgrounds and we're doing stuff. But that's unfortunately becoming less and less the norm. Where I was going with that, though, is when kids are playing, when they're jumping, when they're playing sports, the ground, like the absorption forces, the ground reaction forces that they produce outweigh resistance training. Okay, so their bodies are capable of withstanding some resistance. It's just making sure that the volume and intensity is appropriate. Okay, now all that being said, I'm going to show you the 5 exercises that I think. Number 1, the squat. Okay, starting with a body weight, making sure that we have good mechanics. Okay, feet about shoulder width apart. Okay, and I always teach people 60-40. 60% of your weight is more on your heels. 40% is on your forefoot. Okay, and we're looking to make sure our knees track. So our ankle, knees, and hips are all tracking. So we're not caving in. All right. And I also give the cue is screw your feet into the ground. That kind of activates the glutes, and we're able to squat. Okay? Flat back. That's the other thing is teaching young kids is how to have a flat back and keep your chest up. Okay? The arms out helps to counterbalance. And then as they master that, you can come to a goblet squat. Okay? Exercise number 1 is squat. Number 2 is the push-up. I've done videos on that before, so if you want to look, just search for it. Okay, but understanding how to do a really good push-up, I think that is way more important than a bench press. Although bench press is good for packing on some, pounds of muscle. The other one is rows. Okay. And I'm a big fan of using like a TRX or suspension strap, DIY system like I got here. All right, making sure that when we pull, we're pulling our chest through, squeezing our shoulder blades, okay, and we're not shrugging. Okay, we want to make sure we get a good retraction of the shoulder blades. Okay, not shrugging up here, okay? Because oftentimes as kids get into working out, all they want to do is bench, 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 and we get a really imbalanced situation with rounded shoulders. We get really weak rhomboids and traps, and we get overactive pecs and delts, okay? Plank, another thing that I've done in the past too, so look that up, but making sure that kids understand core stability, okay? It's important. Core strength is learning how to transmit force and stuff through the midsection is really key for young athletes. And then lastly, some sort of hinging movement. Hamstrings are often very weak and tight in young athletes too. So teaching a kid how to do a kettlebell swing or even a deadlift, like a dumbbell deadlift. You can't see this, but I have this on the ground, okay? And I'm standing right over the top of it, and I'm getting my hamstrings loaded here, and I'm picking this thing up, and I'm setting it back down. Up, back down. It's a little different motion than the squat motion, okay? This one's teaching the hips to do more of the work and getting the hamstrings loaded. Those are 5 really fundamental exercises that kids can do, okay, and do them safely. Now, you could add a pull-up if they're strong enough. You could add an overhead pressing motion if they're strong enough, but I had the option of 5, so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm sticking with. Hopefully that helps. If you have questions, comment below. God bless. Have a great day.